and I have all the ladies on the porch tonight. Mel, Aisha, Chauncey, and Celeste. What's up, ladies?
What's up?
Hey,
Hi.
hey.
Wow, that was a hey, hey, hey. I heard like surround sound. Hey, 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 hey.
Excitement.
We
I
in
know that's
sync. I love it.
excitement. And this tonight, it's gonna be some excitement. Just before, I think we should do a blooper recording and put it on YouTube. Like before we say, okay, this was the topic. We're gonna do this and do this, so everybody can hear what we really say in the beginning. But we're transparent. We're transparent, but just to hear all of the noise. But before,
The 12-year-old us.
the 12-year-old.
There's the mature us.
Yeah, so we can, this is to refine us, because we have to be refined,
Yes.
That's, lots of people look at this, but the blooper
But are
one-
we really though? Are we really?
I ain't
refined?
got no
Right. Some of y'all are refined. I mean,
I
I'm
don't
not.
know.
A little bit.
I'm just kidding. So, but welcome, ladies. So how's everything going?
Everything's going okay.
So,
week.
Mel,
Yes.
what's going on, girl? Every time I just look at you, I just feel like I want to say something bad.
I give you that bad energy, girl.
No, it's not like bad, evil energy.
I know
like
what
I
you're
want to
talking
do some
about.
mischief.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So this
I have
this
that
topic
effect on
tonight-
people, Kim. I do.
I used to have
Yeah.
that effect. I don't think I had that effect anymore. I'm just like old and married, so I don't have that effect anymore. I'm just kind of. So my sister did tell me one time about a month ago. I was laughing. She said, "You got that same little sneaky look you used to have in high school." I said, "What kind of damn look is that?" Like, she was like, you said that to me, Chauncey. Judy said it to me. You got that same little sneaky look you had. I was like, "What sneaky look are you talking?" I was like, "Whatever, whatever."
because how they see you is still different. Kimmy, I've said it to you. My son is damn near 6'5". My daughter is 6 feet tall. And when I look at them, regardless of 26 and 30, when I see them, I still see the 5-year-old them,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter their size. And so when I do see their real size, right?
Mhm.
Real life today, it takes me aback sometimes.
Yeah.
That day that I can see them for where they are now, I'm kind of like, wow, that was me.
Mhm.
I made that. You know what I mean?
I think I'm there now, Chauncey. I'm at the point where you're at. I'm still looking at my kids as the little ones to, like, oh my God, you just won't stop talking, or you just oh, you drive me crazy.
But I
And
said that
they
to
don't.
say you can see in them, no matter how old they are, there's certain things I can tell when my daughter doesn't feel well. Her
Mhm.
eyes changes colors. When
Mhm.
she's feeling better, then her eyes are, that hazel brown. But when she's not feeling well, they turn more of a hazel green. And
Mhm.
so I can look right at her, no matter how old she is, and be like, she's not feeling well, even if she doesn't say so. So I said that to say, your siblings that are older than you are pretty much the same way. They
Yeah.
see
Mhm.
things in you, and it's like, okay, she up to something. She get ready to do something. I know that look.
Hey,
I want them to stop doing that.
Let me translate for Chauncey because she's refined. What she's saying is you sneaky, and she be saying.
And y'all know me. I am not sneaky. I'm on the total opposite spectrum of bold and crazy. So I was like, what the hell is she talking about? I was like, me? I said,
Now,
what? I was like, you got me.
It's mischievous. It's just not sneaky.
yes,
It's
that's what it
mischievous.
is.
You
It's not
up to
sneaky.
something.
You know, you
I
about
was
to
like, if I
pop
was
off.
up to something, your ass gonna know, and it's gonna get me in trouble, because it's gonna be straight out there, and I didn't get shit, and I'm gonna get in trouble. I was like,
Right.
what is she talking about? I was like, that because that was your ass that you doing. I just looked at it, I was like, what?
'Cause she was more subtle and more quiet, whereas you were just always out there.
Yeah,
so.
I always got in trouble for it too. So look, Ramel, y'all
Yep.
know, look, Ramel and Chauncey, y'all should know I used to get dragged in the house. Go back outside, sit on the porch. You okay, Jimmy? Yes. That's from being bold. While my sneaky sister was over there just sitting there, I told you not to do that, right? So that's how that used to go. But welcome back to the porch, ladies. That was the adventures of Kimmy and stay her ass in trouble. So tonight we're gonna talk about the fellas tonight. And this was a request. This was a request of a brother that said, "Hey, the ladies are always so hard on the brothers." And I don't agree with that, but always putting a brother in a place where they feel like we are compromising their ego. So, but before I get started on that, I just want to talk about one little hot topic that came up this week. And I think this was kind of cool. If you do somebody dirty, wrong, nasty, raunchy, you should make amends. Don't y'all agree?
I agree. I agree.
Yes.
Don't be shaking here like,
Well, I mean, I agree to, sometimes you never get that, right? And sometimes that person can never give that to you. So you have to forgive them either way, for you to move on with your life, right?
Yeah,
that's what they say.
True.
So sometimes we don't always get that. Sometimes we're not able to make amends, but we can say sorry, even if it's not to them.
That's a valid point. You're right. And I think that if we teach our children and at a younger age, I think that we could make better people,
Yeah.
That's a huge one. But let me not jump off topic. Omarion and Little Fizz this week made amends, okay? That may not mean much to anybody, but the bro code was broken. Because Omarion, if anybody doesn't know, he has 2 kids by April Jones, and Lil Fizz, after they broke up, snuck in the back door and started dating April Jones. And April Jones was very angry. I'll just say angry with Omarion after the breakup. So she did a YouTube video and several Instagram instant videos where Little Fizz was over her house with the kids and what they had going on to the whole world. And now it's exposed. So long story short, the bro code was broken and everybody was saying, how could you do this to somebody? As one, he's your bandmate, and they're like brothers, you know what I mean? You sleeping with his woman, even if that's an ex-woman, that's like a off limits type of thing. Do y'all agree? That's an off limits type of thing. We're not gonna go tread in somebody else's backyard.
Especially if children. Especially if children. Yeah. Especially if children.
Kids are involved. That person is gonna come there because they got 2 kids, not even one. They got 2 kids. So this week they had some kind of who was performing? B2K.
B2K
was performing. He came up there, he kind of like stopped the show and he said, he told in front of 6,000 people, he was sorry. He was sorry to Omarion. And and I listened to the video, it was so sincere. I was doing my little, Lord, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for a brother breaking it down. And he was telling people basically he did the snake moves on him. And he was sorry that, he was in that mindset and, he wanted to apologize. And I was like, wow. And it wasn't a fake hug. It was a real hug. And it was like a lament. It was, and it went viral. And it was like, wow. And it was like, people didn't believe it. So.
Was it at a show?
It was at a show. It was at a show.
Now that's the only thing that I would say would take out the sincerity for me. Right now, if they did it behind doors and then they did it again on stage, and that's one thing. But if you did it out on stage because you were performing, then really you forgave each other for that coin. Am I being negative? Am I being too pessimistic?
I agree to
because they haven't performed together as a group, right? But that whole thing, people coming back and doing shows and groups getting back together, and you can make a pretty good penny because as far as I know, they all may be doing okay, but they could afford to be able to go out on tour again. And how are you going to go out on tour if you don't make amends with each other? So making amends is good. Forgiving is good. Apologizing is always good. So I don't take that back. I just hope that it's sincere and it's for real.
I agree. And why I agree is that I think public apologies could be staged or whatever. What I would hope is, like you said, Chauncey, what I would hope that it is sincere, because if it's not sincere, one thing is going to happen. They're not kids. They're not going to fucking get along. And it's not going, the tour is not going to go but so far.
It won't last. Correct.
It's going to crash and burn.
It will come crashing and burn. And that's the point, that only because it was tied into them doing a show. Yeah. Now, I know that they've been on Love and Hip Hop. I've seen it here and there. I don't watch it all the time, but I would think that if it was really sincere and it's true, then it will be lasting, because now you're supposed to be more mature than you were when it happened, so on and so forth. But if it's just for the show, yeah, you'll find out. I think that happened to En Vogue. They thought that they made, amends with each other or whatever. Then they went to go on tour and it was like, okay, yeah, this was not a good idea. Same shit, different day. So yeah, so I definitely hope that for them, just because we always want the feel good story and we want things to work out in the end. And, but is there a difference between making amends and just simply apologizing?
Oh, it's a big difference, because that's just talking out your mouth and not doing what your ass should be doing. That's what I mean. That's talking and actions is two different things.
Correct.
So he's no longer with April.
April, 5 people there. April gone on her way. She's like, whatever.
Yeah, because she's with Dr. Dre. Didn't somebody say she was dating Dr. Dre?
Yeah, she's messing with Dr. Dre.
Is she still dating him?
I don't even know. Somebody else.
I don't even know.
Lord, she's just messy, no matter how you slice it.
She is messy. She just threw her own self under.
She need to put her pussy away.
I know.
Hang it up.
Put it in the drawer, because it is like a piece of raw out rubber. Like, she's gonna need a new seal. Like,
now, terrible. I agree with what Chauncey said is about it, it needing to be authentic and pure, but because the conflict played out in the media and in the public, I feel that Omarion was due a public apology.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, true that.
Okay.
I agree. I think so too.
It was so bad. And I don't even like them little boy groups. I mean, I'm too old for them little boy groups, but I mean, they all little cuties and everything like that. I probably would have liked them back in the day, but it was embarrassing. It was truly embarrassing. Like, April Jones, I think that she's a beautiful girl. I think she needs to handle herself a little bit better when it comes down to these breakups she's having. She just needs, keep your pussy private. Like, what the fuck wrong? You know what I mean?
Well, I think what I did see when when it was them on Love and Hip Hop, she went home to visit her family, her mother or something. I think she's biracial. I think her mother might be Asian or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so I believe in that episode, it came up, or several episodes, how many issues she did have. It had to do with her being raised, and they went into what her background was. And when they did it, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it just kind of made sense. It just, her whole thing and how she acted and why she acted out the way that some of the things that she did. It was like, okay, well, now I can understand.
PR person somewhere, because she's not like me, you, and everybody else sitting up here. Somebody better stop her, because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, guess who can pop in the tapes or pop in the demand and see what's going on with mommy?
Those kids, yep.
You know what I mean? So she not, we can give her a pass all she want, but them kids.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for them to live down. You know what I mean? Yeah.
She gotta slow them draws down, because that right there, really, I'm just saying, she's like really, guess what? Think about it. At the end of the day, everybody on here have gone through some point in their life where they have not felt their best, depressed, you know what I mean? And have even probably got in a bit in an entanglement, I'll say, with somebody because you needed comfort. You see what I'm saying? But it's not to the point where children become the collateral damage in it. Some things you got to say, hey, I got to know my good.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, I agree.
And that takes a certain level of growth, maturity. and
That they don't
she's
have
not
yet.
there yet, with, her upbringing and whatever issues that
Right.
she has not yet dealt with. She has a lot of work to do on herself, and
Absolutely.
that comes
I would
with
agree
age
with that.
sometimes.
It
And
listen,
she's
most
not
of
there
it.
yet.
I'm
And I
always-
think that no matter what we look at, when we look at the younger generations and stuff like that, it all sounds good when we're reading it in a textbook, but putting it into practice is so much more difficult. And you got to go through some things first to be able to put that into practice. You know what I mean? It sounds good and having the knowledge, but if we can't put it into play in the midst of all of that, then you got to go through it first to come around and come full circle.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
teacher
she
right.
need help. She became community pussy real fast. So
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
She need help.
I have a lot of opinion about a lot of that, but I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Why?
I will
Oh,
tell
on
you
the
this.
podcast.
I will tell you this because
That's not going to help Celeste.
no, because I think I'm looking at things a little bit different. She might have community pussy, whatever, but when you look
Not
at
Mike.
somebody, well, when you're looking for somebody within your, and I hate to use that word, equally yoked, their pool is real small.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Their dating pool is real small. You always hear them talk about somebody with somebody's ex because they can't date with so many people. So that's one thing.
Right. She didn't have to be so close with it. Not the best homie.
But they do some dirty stuff. So that's so bad. They do some grimy stuff at that level. But anyway.
Yeah, because I don't like the term community pussy, right? Because I feel like any woman who has authority over her body has the right to make whatever decision she wants to with her body. And as
For
long
the whole
as
community?
and if that's the whole community, if you
Look,
a hoe,
somebody
then-
got to do it. We're not doing it.
listen, if you gonna be a hoe, be a good hoe, right? Men do it all the time. And
Oh,
so
God.
the judgment in that aspect. So because if not, well, because of our age, we still look at it differently, right? So how we
Absolutely.
care, but then how many of us are doing it behind closed doors and don't nobody
That's
know?
what I'm saying.
So what she's saying, if
You
she
mean
did it
screwing
quietly,
friends?
yeah, well,
Ah, they be screwing the boys and the boys be doing
listen, and so, but doing it quietly versus doing it out in the
But I
public
will
or
tell
whatever.
you my opinion about apologies. Please don't apologize to me. Don't mean shit to me.
Mhm.
Actions
because-
speak louder than words.
And not only that, if you've hurt me to the core like that, there's nothing you can say that's going to unhurt me. So I don't even want to hear it. But if you need to apologize outwardly for your own growth and development, that's cool. But it's not going to do nothing for me. So
I agree. I think that the situation, the apology aspect of it was more for little Fizz, coming to a place where he was able and willing to admit what he did. It
For the
wasn't
fans.
necessarily about apologizing for the hurt that he caused Omarion, because that's some inexcusable hurt. But that was him. I feel like that's just me personally talking. I feel like that was more for him to be able to get to his next place,
I
as he
see.
grows up in
Well,
life.
y'all have to think about it too. When this all came out, remember Omarion didn't do anything.
Right.
Mhm.
Omarion
Yeah.
He didn't say anything. He hadn't.
never said anything. He
Right.
never reacted onto it. And you know what? That's the biggest win. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That's the
That
biggest
says a lot
win.
about who he is as a person.
Yeah.
His level of
Because he
maturity.
knew it
And
was
I
gonna
think this
fizz out.
generation.
Yeah.
that's funny. So why you
But
surprised?
to make a point, he did. He already knew people already know people's patterns and track records. He already knew what his relationship was with April. He already knew what challenges April was going through. So if you already know the person's challenges and what they're going through, and you don't even have to be judgmental on April.
Exactly.
You already knew what you went through with the relationship and the way that relationship
Right.
went. How do you know that relationship with you gonna be any different with Fizz?
And not only that, if I don't want you, I don't want you. I don't care where you go.
Wait, because she gonna do this. She gonna
I
be
don't
happy
care where you go.
first 3 months. Next 2-3 months, she gonna be confused. She gonna be like, I don't know what I want. The next 6 months, she gonna be unhappy. Then she's gonna go into depression. It's a pattern because he already knows what makes her, and then she's gonna be done with your ass. You know what I mean? Or she's gonna go playing it or talking to this people. People already know when you're in a relationship. You usually don't change who you are, and people really know which direction you're going in. So he sat back and watched her. And what she do is she went through several people after this. Fizz wasn't the only one. She went through several people. Now she on Dr. Dre. And this is all public knowledge. And as we do, sorry to say, women always are going to get the short end of the stick. You see what I'm saying?
At least she followed the money.
A community dick is more acceptable than a community pussy. You see what I'm saying? Hell, that community dick just keep on going until I guess it die. But hers, I guess hers.
Somebody is slip and fall on it.
I mean, really. But to lead into our topic tonight, think about it. Omarion's self-esteem, we don't know what blow it took, but Omarion did not show it. You see what I'm saying? Because he sat quietly through the whole thing. Little Fizz was the one who put his emotions all out there. And then this public apology just sealed the deal that, hey, the winner is Omarion. Because Omarion like, hey, you know what? I'm still going to be a dad to them kids. Regardless of all of y'all going haywire over here, I dealt with my hurt internally, and I'm just dealing with it.
He probably was so glad to get rid of her ass. I'd have been
No,
happy.
he was.
I mean, once I'm done with you, I don't give a frick where you go. Just go
think about it. Somebody that hurt you or did something that hurt
Yeah.
wasn't the first hurt that came.
Yeah.
Something else.
So I think what you were saying, Kim, it makes sense because so what you're saying is Omarion was not surprised in April's behavior, but the surprise came from Lil Fizz's behavior.
Right.
Because April was being who Omarion knew her to be, which is why they were no longer together.
Absolutely.
And so however long it took her to get to Little Fizz, then really you getting with Little Fizz was about getting back at Omarion.
It was revenge. It was just revenge. And then she went on to the next person and the next person. You know what I mean? She's going to constantly do that. What is she winning? She's not winning anything at all.
Right.
What she really needs is some help for herself to make herself feel better. That's all it's about.
Yeah.
And to get to her happy place. You know what I mean?
Stop living your life and just putting everything out there on social media. It's one thing even for the picture.
That's the life she's in. You know what I mean?
But I mean, the way they go toe to toe with the words and and this, and I'm like, it's
pretty bad. Now she's looking like Slut Boot, and now he's looking like he's the victim, and both of them look like the victim. And what does April Jones look like? Hoville.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And really, when we think about it, I think I'm gonna take it back myself. I'm not even gonna call that girl that because think about it. We don't know. It's always another side to the story. You see what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. She might be empowered sexually, regardless of whatever issues and stuff that she has. In her mind, she's an empowered, but you were still messy about it though. Be empowered. Yeah. You can be empowered sexually.
About your messiness, okay?
But don't be messy.
Sorry, I don't want your dick anymore. I'm going on to this one. That's what she should have got on social media and said. She shouldn't have said, "Hey, Fizz, come on. No, come on over here." That's what she said. Come on over here. You can show your face. Come on. She should have just said, I'm just tired of Marion's dick. This is the new dick of the week. It would have been okay. So, something like that. So I'm sure that both of them are dealing with their issues as far as their self-esteem, because this woman right here, that's one thing she's not doing. She ain't hurting her self-esteem because she moved on. You know what I mean? And that brings us to the topic tonight. Body image and male self-esteem. I know we probably going to have a lot of different opinions here. Let's going to talk a little lower. Like I said, this topic was brought to me about how women can almost destroy, I'll say the word destroy, a man's self-esteem by saying some of the things we say, And I can say that, sometimes I put stuff out on social media. I just put it out because I want to get, the feedback. But some of the things that people say, just, I'd be like, whoa, but I know they mean it. They talk about males and their male parts. One of the biggest things, and we just did an episode on this, so we come out soon. Does size matter? Hell yeah. You know what I mean? don't come with your little dick because you're gonna be shamed. I mean, really, you're gonna be shamed. I put a post out about, I don't know if y'all remember, somebody being a short man. You know what I mean? Did you give up a relationship with a short man to have some a tall man? A lot of people chimed in. Yes, they just didn't want to. They didn't want to do it. They just had to have someone that was taller. This was huge.
I don't like short men and little dicks.
Oh. They said they didn't want a short man. They didn't want no parts of a short man. I mean, we had to describe what was short. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about like 5'1" as a man. I don't know. You know, but they didn't want no parts of a short man. They wanted tall men. I mean, not tall, but at least average and tall. They didn't want a short man at all. Regardless of how the man treated them, they didn't want one. So I'm stop laughing, Celeste. I mean, let's talk about first the perceptions of what we think, because I'll just start this off. I was always had this perception that, okay, man was their body parts represented what their penis
abilities
size
were.
was. Yeah,
what their abilities were.
Yeah, so if that was not true, because a lot of times that is not true, you know what I mean? That they had big feet, they had a large penis. That's not always true, you know what I mean? So you can be, I guess, defeated before you even get started. But just to have the perception of what you think the man has because he looks a certain way is one, the first stigma that most women have. And then when you're disappointed from that, how is it handled? Is this something that is caused by the male, or is this caused by us? You know what I mean? Female. So we could start there, or if you have other ways to start this, but I think this is a really sensitive but hot topic, because I think this, like Ramel said before, well, maybe it wasn't Ramel, maybe it was Celeste. Hell, think about what we go through as women, but we're gonna stay on the male side.
Yeah.
We're gonna stay on the male side today.
I'm always blame the men.
Yeah, we're gonna stay on the
every day.
Because we have been, going through it for centuries. We have had to conform to male standards of beauty and all of that. So I get it, but I'm not gonna coddle the male feelings as it pertains to all of that, because at the end of the day, we as women are still going to be the ones who are judged by, how we look and, our size and, this, that, and the other thing. So I get it. I read a statistic that 20 to 40% of men are unhappy with their body image. Like, okay, but get over it. That's how I personally feel.
We do not care.
We do not
really
care.
at all. Not at all. Because we have to deal with it all the damn time. So put your big boy panties on and keep it moving. But at the end of the day, don't be having big boy conversations with your little dicks and then looking at us like we're the conversation. We talked about that before. Quiet down with the bass in your voice.
Right.
If you're not bringing it.
Tone that shit down.
Absolutely. I feel like we as women,
we're not gonna get no relief for y'all men today.
not on today. I feel like I love that we're empowered enough to choose and talk about the kinds of men we want to, date and pursue. And as long as everybody's clear on that, I don't see the issue. Don't be out there, with the misconceptions, having these conversations like, oh, you're going to bring it. And we looking like, well, where's that? You got to go back and get it and bring it here. Because I don't see it. That's not it. As long as everybody's clear on what they want and what they don't want, folks are good.
I think the difference for me is the way it's presented to them. Maybe, I don't think I've ever, I did. But I don't, because I had that one incident I told y'all about where I was really like, what the fuck is this? Like, and that's because I was still immature, and I had never seen anything so freaking, it was like thumb size. Like that was it all the way. So that presentation sucked. But I think if you being honest with somebody, and especially when you, like you said, you coming in there with all that rah, and I'm like, look, dude, really? Really? I'm a fluffy girl, and I have had guys say, you a real good sister and everything, and you smart and everything you got it going on, but I don't really do big girls. Same thing.
So why can't you say, well, I don't do little dicks?
Exactly.
But I'm saying, if we could deal with it, they can deal with it. I don't want you going like this, yo, fatty. I don't know. We gonna have a fucking on purpose misunderstanding. But if I think it's done, if it's done honestly, and we being open, and I say, you know, I won't take short guys. I'm not trying to give you a complex. I'm trying to tell you. And I know it. I don't want to do it. And I like to wear heels, so I'm not dating somebody short. I don't want
And
to
I don't like short men.
see, I'm not, so
It's
I
a
think
turn
it's a
off.
presentation.
Yeah,
Rebel, you are 4'11".
I know. And I don't like short men. And short men a lot of times have humongous egos. So we got to deal with that. And their dicks
Oh,
don't
they
match.
got the Napoleon thing. They
Yeah.
sure do. Oh my God.
The
And so,
Napoleonic
you know,
complex, the Napoleonic
Yeah.
complex, yeah.
Wait a minute, y'all
But now-
talking about- what
But
the
now,
hell?
Ramel, if
Yes.
Ramel,
Wait, hold
because
Hold
you are, huh?
Hold it. We missed 5 things that these two just said. That went quick. Rebel, what did you just say? You
all that, I don't like short men. I'm 4'11", but I don't like short men. They always have big dick energy, but little dicks. I can't stand it.
Oh God.
Okay, so then here's my question then. So the Napoleonic complex, right? What
Mhm.
do you consider to be a short man? Because of your height. Now I'm 5'9".
Mhm.
So what I consider to be short and what you consider to be short could very well be
Yeah,
two
but
different
mine
Mine
is
things.
is short for me.
Right.
Right, that's short
Okay.
for me. But I like a man that's taller than 6 feet. Now, if I 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", that's gonna be the thing that I like.
Okay.
But I mean, don't come over here rocking at me when you 5'6" and no. Mm-mm.
See, now,
I don't
now,
even
Ramel,
look at
But
it.
because now 5'6" doesn't mean that they have a little penis.
It doesn't, and none of it ever means that they have a
Okay.
little penis. But a
Okay.
lot of times,
I
I'm
think
saying
that's
a
genetic.
short man with a little dick and a lot of big dick energy, we are not gonna get along.
I
but
see.
Ramel,
It's not gonna
Understood.
work.
honestly, sis, I love you, but I'm a tall girl. I'm gonna need you to take some of them short. So some of them short motherfuckers you gotta take. You can't be capping out at 6
You gotta take
feet.
the L.
At least do 5'7". You know what I'm
No,
saying?
girl, no, hell no.
Oh
I'm
my
not doing that.
gracious.
Look at her. She's swimming, taking up some of the pool.
No.
You messing up the pool because I gotta start up at 6'4". But how many of them are
We
there?
gotta share that pool. We got to
I
share
can't
that
do-
pool, Celeste.
No, but
See, and there's a whole bracket of people being left out. You see what I'm saying? And talk about I don't have no man the 5'7" to 6 feet. They don't got no. They not even considered.
Somebody out there
Well,
like them and just ain't me.
No. Well, for the thing is, it didn't matter for me, but I think it mattered to the man.
Mhm.
And so, like you said, some of them come
Does.
at you with all this energy. There are very few that are short in stature that really don't have issues about their height. Very, very
well,
few.
they have no choice.
No, it's not that. No, it's not that they don't have a choice because we all got dysfunction, right?
Mhm.
Right.
But I'm saying there are very few that truly don't have an issue about their height. They've
Right.
never had a problem getting a woman. They've never had a problem keeping a woman. They don't have any problem with their jobs. And they're okay with that, right? And I would say those are the men that are somewhere between 5'6" and 5'9" because they're petite men. So they're not only are they of a certain height, they're of a certain stature. So they are a little less intimidating in any given situation. Put a suit on them or whatever, and depending on their energy, like Ramel said, then they can bring more energy to the room. They draw you in, so they don't have to be 6 foot to be able to do that. But then you got the ones that they always in your face. They only come to your breast. Me talking from a 5'9" perspective. They the ones always walking to you at the club, walking up to back in the day.
Oh, loud and
Grover the ones
obnoxious.
walked up to you at the
I have a lot
club,
of
right?
confidence. Yeah.
And it don't matter because when the lights go out, we all the same height. Yeah, no, it does matter. And no, we're not.
You gotta be this tall to ride this ride.
ride
No,
this
sir.
ride, right? But it don't mean we can't be cool and can't kick it or whatever. But when we do that, then that's when we're gonna find out what that true energy is. So many people are just so fake when you first meet them that they put on this personification. And so then now you don't even get to know them well enough to get past it, to find out they was all bark and no bite.
Right.
right? So I was just
Mhm.
curious, being that you're shorter, because again, I'm 5'9". So I already know. And you know, if we go down my list, well, most of mine were over 6 feet anyway. So,
Right.
but I'm 5'9" and I'm 6'1" with heels on, right?
It's just
So
a turn on. It's, to me, it's just a turn on to see a man that's like a tall drink of water. Little short guys, it just doesn't do it for me.
okay. All
And,
right.
and see, I guess that goes to what is your preference? You see what I'm saying?
That's really what
That's
it
all
is.
it comes down to. What is your preference? So when it comes down to what is your preference, then you know that's you doing you. But then to the male side, where how does it become now an issue where now this person is not what I want? How did we get there? Because I didn't prefer you. You see what I'm saying? And now we're having this issue with I don't like you, and now we're going back and forth, and you're judging me, and I'm judging you to the point of body images, because that's what happens. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't prefer you, but somehow we got entangled together, and now I'm judging you, and you're judging me.
And the body image thing, what makes that so strange is that we're looking at each other and we're making judgments, and we're also making, because that guy could have what we consider to be the perfect body, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now when it comes to love making skills, you can't use none of what you got. You don't know how to use it.
Exactly.
I had
You come
that,
like
But
a
now,
horse.
but are you already invested when that happens, right? So we talk
Hell
about
no.
how emotion is attached, huh?
I said, hell no, you got to try before you buy.
Okay, see, I haven't always, I got to admit, I ain't been like that, because again, I'm funny about what I put on my feet. I'm like, but the emotion can change some of that, right? But being disappointed, now you're kind of like, what just happened? What, whoa, what just
Yes.
happened?
When people are
okay.
true to themselves and what they want up front, I feel like they have a lesser chance of getting too emotionally invested in anybody or anything. Like Ramel said, okay, well, if you not this tall, it ain't even nothing for us to even,
That's what I'm
you know, we
saying.
don't
Because
even
that's
have
her
to get
emotion
but so
attached.
far.
Right. That's
Yes,
her
when
emotion
folks kind of
attached.
overlook
Mhm.
that and they're not willing to just be that clear and direct with themselves
that's
or
the
the
point.
other person up front, then okay, now we're not boo loving on the phone, you know, we're not planning to go hang out and go to dinner and whatever the case may be. So there should be no, you know, no attachment. Like, what are we talking about? If it's not going to turn into anything else,
Right.
we need to cut it off right here. Because when people allow themselves to kind of open up and start those conversations and start that relationship, then that other person, that guy, may feel like, okay, this could go somewhere. And if the woman says, oh, but that's not really, you're not really my type of guy, or whatever the case may be, now he's left feeling some type of way. So I feel like if folks are clear and direct from the beginning, then there's less of a chance for a guy to be feeling some type of way when he's shot down, when the situation is cut off.
Okay.
So do
That's
you
fair.
feel that, again, we end up in this situation because, okay, we talk about male imaging, okay? They're challenged with their male image, and we already put it out there on the table. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry that you challenge with your male image, okay? And the things you're going through that you think that we're afflicting you with, because that's what they're saying. We're afflicting them with, saying, okay, you're not you don't perform sexually. I know you're just too short. I just don't like you. Do you not think that we settled somewhere? We settled somewhere, and now we just don't want this shit no more. And now we're here with this person who can't perform. Because think about it. If you got a dude that's 6'5", Celeste, okay, and he's your height, you don't know what he's performing like. You have no idea. And when you finally get intimate with him, it's not the greatest. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And you find out, hey, well, you thought he had 8 inches, he got 2. You know what I mean? He's performed.
I think we as women, I think some women, I know for myself, I'm looking for so much more than the outside. Yes,
exactly.
That attracts my eyes and all of the other stuff. So I think what happens is we get.
But the penis is the inside.
I'm not. See, I'm more of a sapiosexual, so you got to get me here. You can't.
Well, see, that's
nothing without this going.
That's
Everybody's gonna
my
tell you.
point.
But,
That is my
So
point.
I can rock with you. You got my mind going. You got that little swag. You smelling good. Your clothes is thick. And then we get entangled in that whole. Some of us got the 90-day rule and a couple of day rule, and we ain't gonna do this
She
rule.
said a couple of days.
Yeah, and then by the time we get involved, we looking at him like, oh no, oh no.
Right.
That's I think what's happening. We weren't settling. We were just looking for more than just the body parts.
Well, and I think that to piggyback on that, when that emotion is attached, because again, I'm the emotional type, right? When it comes to that, if there is something that they're lacking because it was emotion based, you don't always realize it right away. You sometimes you don't realize it till you get mad and they don't kind of look as rosy as they looked when you first started doing it.
Right.
And now you kind of like, well, now that
That's
I think
true.
about it.
No, that's true. Because for me, it's so hard for me to find somebody that does it to me mentally that I will probably settle a little bit more because I'm thinking to myself.
And that's why we're settling, because that emotion is attached. But now, like I said, now you had a first fight, or maybe it ain't even a first fight. Now you done been together a while. And now you kind of like, because now you don't put as much effort into it as you did when you first started. So now everybody ain't putting as much effort in. And now it's kind of like, well, it's all right. Yeah, it's oh.
Don't ask me.
Is that what is that what it was? And
I'm
so
gonna
that's
tell
the
you, don't
truth,
ask
right?
me.
But the thing is, but then our expectation of what we want them to have, but do we know if we really bringing it to the table?
That's a good question.
Okay. And that's what happens with them, right? Because when they was with that last chick, she never spoke up and never said anything. And she might have been the kind that just ended it and never said why. Now he get with you and he still think that he, you know, long dong silver or whatever the case may be. And then now you like, what the heck is that?
And not telling him is doing him a disservice. You need to get that
Yes,
shit
it
together
is.
before you move along.
Yeah, so stop faking it, ladies. You messing it up for
Yeah.
everybody coming behind you.
You're not getting a fake orgasm out of me. If you're not putting the dick down, you're not getting a fake orgasm. If you're not doing what you need to do, you gotta go. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why.
Okay, to your point, let me say this. To your point, I'm gonna jump back on what you said. If he's not giving you an orgasm or he's not putting it down, Mel, you telling him telling him about himself. Then Aisha, you came back and you said, okay, women, stop doing the fucking fake orgasms, okay? So now you done gave him one is saying that's a self-esteem booster. You faking orgasms over there when you know shit is not popping, okay? And then Mel is over here telling him your shit is not on point at all, okay? Your shit is fucking bad, okay? Now, we always try to put women as the emotional beings, but I really kind of think it's opposite. I think it's dudes.
They're emotional too.
They're emotional. Like,
yeah, they're very
tell
fragile.
Me, tell me, because you need to go and do some butt thrusters or something, because you don't move your hips enough or some shit or something. Right. I mean, tell them something. I can't tell you what the fuck to do or something. Go see somebody.
But you can't.
Or something.
No, but what you can. Well, then I think that if you feel like you can't tell them what to do, then don't say anything at all. To just simply say you don't know what you're doing, well, then tell them what it is that you like, because what you like may not be what sister girl over there liked, and therefore that's why they don't do it. Now, if you have the conversation about I like this and I like it this way and I like it that way, and they still can't do it, then now you say to them, you need to go get you a therapist, or you need to go get somebody to get you some help.
Yeah, but you need to get the hell out of my bed. That's all. You got to
well, go. You can always say that, right? But I guess what it is because they just don't perform, and then you just send them on their way. Then what was it that attracted you to be able to be with them in the first place? And so for me, that's what comes. So that's what comes back down to the emotion for me, because if I say to you, I ain't gonna tell you right away, right? So if we just got finished, making love or having sex, whatever it is, however you want to say it. I ain't no beast. I ain't gonna say it to you while we still laying there, but I'll bring it up in another conversation and be like, you know what? that really wasn't it for me. You know what I mean? So we
You're
need
not gonna
to,
care while he's still laying there.
well, what I'm saying is if you don't know each other well enough where you just now finding that out, you don't know what his reaction gonna be if you tell him, get your little exactly, get your little self out of my bed. You don't know what his reaction gonna be. That's why I say, and then if it's a relationship that you might want to keep, you still have to go about it a certain way. I just wouldn't do it as soon as we were finished, just because that ain't me. It's just a way to be able.
Well, I had that experience and he didn't go wild. He just looked at me like, he's like, are you kidding right now? I was like, I am not kidding. Get shit, let's go. And he was like, he was laying there in an afterglow. I was dating this guy laying there in an afterglow, and I was up taking a shower and getting ready for work. And he thought he had done, something that was going to put me to sleep. And he was just laying there. I came back and I was like, get shit, let's go. That wasn't hardly nothing. And he was like, are you serious? Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, I'm serious. I think that sometimes being too easy on men is, like I said, doing them a disservice. Women pretend. We shouldn't do that shit. And then you end up with somebody like me who just tells it to you real and raw. And then you complain that we're too harsh.
Well, see, like I said,
that your dick was little, or your sex game was bad, or your head was bad.
Right. Well, like I said, for myself, I just waited. It's not that I didn't have the conversation. I just think it's a time and a place, right?
I think I'm
thinking, no, what I'm saying is, and then because I'm saying, think about somebody doing that to you. You just thought what you just did was the bomb, and now someone just let you know, you barely finished, and they just let you know, yeah, this is a little too fake. It wasn't that good for me. I think my ego would take a hit too, because women assume that we all do it great because we think it's the men that have to perform, when really we do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you see what I mean? So
I need some extra points.
Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel.
Right.
Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me what, you know what I mean? And now you might be able to have that conversation when you're finished, because you got the afterglow, he don't have it. He got the afterglow, you don't have it. Now, if he asks you, how was that? Now, if he asks you,
open that
you
door.
want to take the opportunity to be honest, then we can talk about it, right? But yeah, especially if you don't have nothing good to say, I would just wait and then still just be honest and have a conversation afterwards. That's just me. It's not that I won't tell you. It's just that when I tell you, because I ain't trying to destroy no ego. I'm not trying to make you feel bad.
I'm torn between that. I'm torn.
You torn?
No, my mouth.
Yeah.
So I had a
your mouth don't work like that.
Similar conversation with my boyfriend this weekend, not sexually, but just in general. I says, are you the type that want to get it, dirty? Like, I'm just going to tell you how I feel and don't, or you want to find out later from somebody else around he was like stuck, like, shit, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. I'm feeling
depends on what you're going to say next.
Right. And I said, because with me, we were looking at something. I don't want to find out later that you was fooling around with the girl next door. Tell me, babe, this is not working. Right. I know you're going to feel bad, but I want to be the one to tell you, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
So he was really not sure. So he finally said, okay, I want it quick and dirty. And I said, being with you is like being alone, because he's such an introvert. And I'm blah, 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 and he's going, I'm like, what the fuck? I need you all up in here with me when I'm doing it. And he was like, wow, that hurt. I said, you need to know.
But I think the way you did it though, Celeste, let me say this much. I think the way you did it first, you asked for permission.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was number one. You asked for permission to give it to him. You know what I mean? You didn't just
how he wanted the information. Yeah, right. Exactly. You asked him how he wanted the information.
And you just go, bow, right to his face. You know what I mean? He had to know that the punch was coming around the corner, because anytime somebody positioned it right there, he had all opportunity to say, no, not really. Yeah. And once you told him, even though he didn't like it, now
he's gonna fix it
to change.
But now I got the Ramel in me. I don't even want you to fix it. I didn't want you to know this ain't working for me.
But don't make promises.
Well, now you have to give him the opportunity, because at least a grace period, because you put it out there for him.
My problem with that is that's not who you are. I want you to be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my
Mhm.
problem. When I tell
Well,
you,
but one has one has
That's why I'm
nothing to do with
torn.
the right. Well, because one has nothing to do with the other. Who he is and how he performs are two totally different things.
Yeah.
That's not who he is.
no, he
His
is an
perform-
introvert.
No,
He's
no,
an
he might be an introvert, but I know introverts that become tigers when they making love.
No, we're
So
not
what-
talking about sex. We ain't got no problem with that now.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about.
Let me say this.
in
Let me say this,
general.
Celeste.
Okay.
I think that when you say just engaging in conversation and things with that, let me tell you from a person who I consider myself an introvert. I only have select few people that I have conversations with.
Mhm.
And let me tell you this, regardless of what you said to him and he says it hurts, you're not going to change him being an introvert. And that that relationship will just,
Right.
anyway. You just gave
He
him
enjoys
room.
the peace. He enjoys the quiet. And when I tell you, we were sitting in the room and I felt like I wanted to strangle my damn self so I can get a reaction. I'm like, because
Yeah,
he is so
won't change that.
used to being, and he loves being by himself. And he might be rubbing me or whatever, but I'm like, is my audio working? Anybody in the room? Because I need to, no TV, no nothing. He was just in his thought with his singing in his head or whatever. I was going, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I've known him since I was 8.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
And you didn't know this beforehand?
And we just started dating recently, but I mean, we've been friends since 8 years old. And I just, like you said, if I don't say anything, does that make me bad because I'm pretending like it's okay?
Well, no, you just said that you said it, right?
Yes,
So you told him. So what you said to him is, I can't handle me being atypical personality and you not.
Well, that you make it sound so bad. What I said was
No. I didn't say it was bad, but you just said I'm all in here and I need you here. And
I guess what I really wanted to say was there is really no need for us to be, it's like no need for you to come stay over. I'm like, Ramel, we finished, you can go. Because it's like being here by myself. And I'm okay being by myself. But if you're here, I'm gonna talk to you.
Right.
But if you're here and you don't talk, what are you here for?
Well, I would say this, man. I think that you
He's there for sex.
I
Yeah,
think
we did that. No, I'm sorry.
I think that you did a good exit for yourself. I do. I think that he will exit. Now it won't be tomorrow. It may be you won't get a Christmas present. I'll just tell you that much.
No.
And if
He's
y'all
asked
agree to just, meet in the
Your ass won't be
bedroom,
getting a
as long as
Christmas
y'all
present.
okay.
And
with
we
that.
do, and we do, and that's the thing. He really is a great guy, but the problem is that I don't really at this age want to compromise at all.
That's all right. That's what
I
you
Meet him in the
what I
bedroom
want-
when y'all mutually agree.
Right.
Keep it moving.
I mean, and we have great sex life. We have a great sex life, so there's no problem there. But it's you can't have that all day long.
Right.
But
Well,
that's
you
not-
can.
Right, but I'm saying if that's where you want it to end, as long as you guys are clear on that, then if that's what you want out of it, or if that's, the end for you guys, right, but it doesn't sound like there's anything more for you all to be doing or talking about outside of what you're
For a
doing in the
little
bedroom.
while, but he'll talk and engage with me, and I hate this to be about him in this episode, but I know that's uncomfortable for him. That's not enjoyable for him. So it's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Even though he'll do it, it's almost like, okay. And he's very attentive, and I'm going like this. I know I'm killing you. He goes, a little bit. Because he's really trying. Why I mention that is because sometimes we do hide things from people and we damage them for the next person. But sometimes when we tell them we damage them, I don't know what the answer is.
But
Well,
that's
you
a
don't
good
know what
point.
right, but and that's the point, right? You don't know what the answer is because each of us requires something different. It's the same thing when it comes to size and the body image things, right? So if you get this guy and you tell him he has these things that you feel he needs to work on, and now if multiple women have told him the same thing, then it should create a desire in him to change it, to do something about it.
I don't agree.
Or it may create he doesn't care, but still because women continue to deal with him.
I think
But
he need to find
it's gonna be somebody out there that
Yes.
want
He
him
need
for
to find
himself.
somebody who likes him short and likes the short penis because they real.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think
Those
it should be
people are out
you.
there.
So
And
you might
they're
want
out
to go
there.
do some self-esteem building, because that's when Napoleon comes strutting in your room. Turn around and get out, Napoleon, because I don't want a Napoleon. Please
But
understand, it's
right.
the message. It's the message
Right.
that's being delivered. That's where
Right.
it's happening. Because with anything, think about it. If somebody hurt your feelings, it's the way they delivered the message to you.
I
You see
think
what
the
I'm saying?
message, yeah.
It's the message.
Delivery is everything.
Yeah, it's the message.
You can't even receive what a person's saying. You can't receive
If
it
they
if
didn't
they
come
don't
correct.
deliver it right. That's why I was saying to Ramel, like, if you're interested in helping that person, because it may not be girth, may not be the issue, or length may not be the issue. It might have just been the issue. They don't know what they're doing with it. And so if you don't know what you're doing with it, if nobody ever tells you that, then you keep on going through life not knowing what you're doing. But then maybe that person is going through
Right.
life doing that
And don't
because
care.
they never thought
don't
about
care.
it.
Guess what? I don't care either. Because you know
Not my
what? At this age, I think if you're a little bit younger, you probably have a little bit more tolerance. But at this age, you should know better. Somebody, 19 other women that told you had short dick and you just can't perform. And you ain't go and
fix it. Go fix it.
enough and fix your ass, then keep on waiting for the next 19 women to come along, and it's not my problem to fix you. You see me?
And Celeste,
But what I'm saying is, it may not be your problem to, but how do we know it's not our problem to fix? Is this the person we're going to be with, or is this just casual sex? I think that's
sex.
more so.
it must be casual sex.
It must be casual sex.
I'm not concerned with helping somebody who's been through 19 other women, who you probably know he got to this age and he just doesn't care anymore. And he's just going to keep sticking dick in women and poorly performing and not going to change anything. I mean, so why do I care? So I can only tell you what I feel and move on. I'm not going to try to fix him, because I mean, shit, you 50 years old, you ain't fixed your dick yet. I know I'm not the first woman that told you and not performing well. I know I'm not. So you're going to get a raw delivery, because you slinging soft dick and short dick. It's no. I'm not going to care.
So it goes back to again, one, delivery. You know what I mean? What led up to the conversation where you had to present it in a way where, hell, I had to tell you straight up what it was. Two, I like the way Celeste presented her story. Is she gave the prelude, of what was coming. You know what I mean? Here, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to ask for you kindly to say, hey, you know what? I want to talk to you about something. If you say you don't want to talk about it, end the story. Then you go off in the mystery wonderlands and wonder what your dick is doing. Nothing. Okay. Number three, to what Chauncey said, is this somebody you would prefer? Is this going to be a relationship? Is it worth investing in? You know what I mean? Are you going to invest in that person? I mean, is it worth weighing out? You know what you did. You know what I mean? Now, Aisha, think about it. Everything that was said here today, you put the spin on it. We as women do not have to tolerate it. You know what I mean? We're not here to babysit men. You know what I mean? We're not here to smooth their ego. I mean, but what we are here to do is to be honest with people. And, we have our own issues as women. We have been demonized, victimized. I can go on and on, but at the end of the day, we hope we can have a happy relationship with a man or a partner, whoever people choose to be with, without cutting the message off and saying, well, you don't satisfy me because I don't like the way your body looks. We suffer with that enough. And I think that was the whole, message of this episode. We suffer with it enough. We're dealing with our own issues as women. Body image, we have image problems with, we have babies. We have men expecting us to look the same way that we looked 20 years ago, expecting us to look like people who having surgeries and, all kinds of unrealistic expectations that when we come back with our desires, is kind of looked upon as offensive. but our actual self-esteem that we're dealing with as women is really a lot of times overlooked. So I think it's probably a balancing act here. So in closing, everybody go around, and tell me how you feel about this episode. I think it was really, really good. And again, we're never here to offend. I always just steal that from Celeste. We're never here to offend, but we are always going to be brutally honest about what we feel. And honestly, I think this episode really hit on the button. We have issues that we deal with on our own, and but we're always here to support our men. And I think delivery is probably the biggest one I took away from it. You want to go next, Celeste?
I think that if it's somebody that I see a potential in, or somebody I'm really interested in and I have some history with, I'm going to take a little bit more time, because he might be out of practice, he might, whatever. I might take a little bit more time. But for the most part, if I'm at the beginning of a relationship, I'm too damn old to be making accommodations. If we're not right for each other, let's go grab a snack or some shit like that. But this relationship stuff, let's leave this alone. Because whatever I'm irritated about in the beginning usually multiplies by the middle of it. I ain't got time for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, you know what? Your feet been sticking since the first day. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So, that's how I'm operating in this world right now.
Aisha?
I think in terms of the, original topic, the body image aspect of it, as it pertains to men, it's not what we say as people, it's how you say it. So, and keeping that in mind, that was the biggest takeaway for me, just that delivery, making sure I don't say or do anything that I wouldn't want done or said to me. There's a way to be as direct and clear and blunt as possible and also be respectful, because 9 times out of 10 my face won't tell you before my mouth even has the chance to say
Absolutely.
anything. So I'm gonna get it right up here and then I'm gonna say what needs to be said in a way that's respectful. And I think that we as women, so long as we do that, we can be as honest as we need to be, because I'm definitely not a proponent of perpetuating this idea that everything's fine when it's really not. If the dick is whack, I'm gonna say it's whack some kind of way, but you gonna know how I feel about it, because I don't want you passing that on nowhere else after we done. I hope, I'm married now, so hopefully that's the last dick I'm gonna have to deal with. But in the event that it's not, I would hope that, somebody has, gotten all that work done prior to me showing up on the scene. The last thing I'll say is that I absolutely love that this topic was a request. I love the engagement in the listeners and the community. I love that. So, keep that coming. If there's stuff that you guys want to talk about and to hear about, I love that, this is a platform where we can add those kinds of topics where people know who we are and how we get down on the porch, and we can talk about those things that you guys truly want to hear about from us.
Absolutely. Mel?
Well, I agree that my delivery can sometimes be a little brutal, but to be honest, should I really have sympathy or empathy for a man who, if he's not performing well for me, and he can go in the next few days and take his fat ass and pick up a skinny girl with skinny hips and all that good stuff that he wants, and he's not giving a fuck about me. So why should I care? If you have a fragile ego and you've been running around here doing shit wrong, I'm going to tell you. I might be saving somebody else.
Saving somebody else's self-esteem from being crushed. All right.
Exactly.
Chauncey?
I'm a firm believer, and I love what Mel just said. I get that, right? That's my feminist side. She my feminist side. I'm digging that. But I'm still also a proponent of you get more bees with honey than with vinegar, right? So it does kind of stem from the type of relationship that it's going to be, whether it's about their body parts or whatever, right? Like Celeste said, I'm fluffy in the middle, and Lord knows I just ate through the entire month of September, because I do that every year to celebrate my birthday with all my freebies. And so, however, if my husband was to turn around and be like, what's wrong with you? Or, you're looking a little, you're looking a little thick in the middle, and how that would make me feel, right? So whether it would be about my body itself or whether it would be about my performance in the bedroom, I would feel some kind of way, not because you said it, but in the way that you said it and the way that you presented it to me. So I think that timing is everything and encouragement is everything. So if there is this, particular person or whatever that, you all are with, and take that into consideration. Get to know the person a little bit so that you'll know that even if it's not something you want to do anymore or a person you want to do anymore, that you kind of look out for the next sister behind you and just give them a little nudge and give them a little hint. And they can do with it what they please, because if they still think they the bomb, they're going to still continue to think they the bomb and not listen to what it is that you're saying. But it might be someone that's willing to receive what's being said, and it makes it better for them in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I ain't trying to make our brothers feel any less than what they already are, right? So, and who knows how that stems from. When you look at somebody like a Kanye West who was crying, talking about, did y'all know I had surgery and I did that for y'all, meaning the audience, like, did I ask you to do that? Like, no. But
what kind of surgery he had?
When he was on that TMZ episode with Van Lathan a couple of years back, and he kind of lost it. You don't remember that? And he was saying, did you know that I had surgery? So he must have had some sort of lipo or something like that.
What in the world? He's been around Kardashian. That's what that was.
Well, no, I mean, think about it. He just happened to have the money to do it. We're talking about body image, right? Men and their body image.
He did that though. His mother died from that.
And that's why I'm not shocked, right? That's why I'm not shocked, because living up to a perception of what you think we want of you. Like, I never considered him to be, a six-pack guy on the outside of his album cover, or what. I just don't see him that way. But maybe he felt like he needs to be that way. But
the musical genius, and that's all I look at him. I don't see nothing else. Gumby. That's all I see. I don't see nothing else. He's not my cup of tea, like you said. But he's somebody's. Right. I mean, he's Kim Kardashian's cup of tea, I guess, or whatever. But that's a good point you brought up. I mean, that man had a surgery. What did they suck out or put in or whatever? Like, that's crazy.
Whatever point in his life he had put on, whatever point in his life he had put on this weight, he must have put on, some weight, and he was trying, and that was the way for them to take it off, right? So. Rest of us got to exercise and work out.
Absolutely, or starve. One or the other. It don't come that easy. But you know what? Again, great episode, ladies. Thank you again. We always have the best time here on the porch. So join us every Wednesday. We moved our episodes to Wednesday. So I shout it from the hilltop. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Great episodes. Join us on the porch. You can catch us on social media. Let's Chit Chat Sis, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, where we always keep the hottest topics with the best conversations every day of the week. So I'm your girl, Kimmy, and this is Let's Chit Chat Sis. And joining me tonight is
Chauncey,
Celeste,
Aisha.
So everybody heard everybody. So have a good night and have a great week on purpose. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Good night.